Okay, so this is a new angle. If you don't recognize this, this is now I have it turned. It's like pivoted where I have it sometimes, and so I'm sitting on the couch. The couch is going back this way, and the window's over here, and it's only one. It's 1:15 in the morning, so it's pretty dark out. So I haven't put on that light or anything. Yeah, when I woke up, it was 11:30. So I think we went to bed like at 7. The dogs start going to sleep, so then it's like, "Oh, I gotta hurry up and go to sleep." And I just saw a thing about that dogs sleep like 16 hours a day, and, but it's such little increments, and so I try and get the longest one in, and so as soon as they go to sleep, it's like, "Oh, I wanna go to sleep." And then, so then I was up at 11:30, so see, it's still like it's just a nap, really. And so, and when I woke up, Stella, oh, she was so adorable. She had her whole big bed, which is kind of like a toddler bed, only a little bigger. And she was all totally spread out in it, and she was just snoring a storm up. And some of y'all know what her snore is. She was just snoring a storm. And I knew as soon as I started moving that she would wake up. And so then it's like, "Fuck, do I just lay here and just lay here?" And, but it was just uncomfortable and my mind was already going, I don't know, this is the 17th was supposed to be like the most intense of the moon. So I don't know if it's the most intense tonight or last night, but I definitely think like there's that energy. And, so I woke up and then, I was trying to be like real, I'll just sit here and smoke and just go back to sleep. And right away, she just starts getting up and her snoring stops. And then she starts moving around stuff. And I felt bad because she was really just out there. And then, of course, all the dogs get up and then they start having treats. So we're just up doing our thing. I'm cooking their soup still. That I had started it last night and then I turned it off so it kind of keep heat because the stuff stays hot for so long. I swear to God, I can cook something and then leave it in this pot and it will still be hot later in the afternoon. It's so crazy how long it stays hot. So I don't leave it cooking while I was sleeping. So I turned it off, but and I turned it back on, and, so, like, just up like it's just regular day, except for I haven't turned everything on, and, I was drinking tea, but it still is, like, at night, it's just there's a more peaceful thing in the energy of humanity, but you can, and that is when you can really hear, like where they say the veil is thin and stuff like that, you can hear better when you tune in. Like people get so scared, but they're just have been trained to be scared. Like it's weird to watch so many people be so scared of like their real life. Like it's really weird. And so, but I just got a big old cup of tea. Hold on. And but you know, that's all gonna play out. And, but I was walking around and I was doing stuff and I was getting so much stuff. I was like, okay, I gotta go record. Like, I gotta say some of this stuff. And, so I'll have to, I wasn't writing it down or anything. It was just coming in my head. I was like, fuck, that's good. Fuck, that's good. I was like, yeah, oh, yeah. You know, it's like, oh, man, sometimes my braid feels like it weighs like 10 tons or something. It's like, God damn, it's driving me crazy. It feels so heavy. Um, and I want to say something too about the gray. Because for one thing, look at, oh, and I got a picture of my mom. I can't even believe, like, she really does look so, so young. I swear to God, she looks more like a young person that drank too much and got up in the night and got up in the morning. Like, I think that aging has so much to do with that. So I sent her some stuff about the face yoga and the lymph drainage stuff it is about that. But I'm not saying that she looked bad for her. I'm saying that she just looks like a young person who had a rough night. Like, she looks fucking good, man. And, super young. And she said the back of her hair, her friend told her that the back of her hair is really dark, but she said around her face it's still lighter, and so she can't really tell. But when she sent me the picture, I was like, oh my gosh, she looks so much younger. It's like only like around her eyes and stuff of puffiness, but she gets those motherfucking eye shots. And I keep telling her not to. And so I'm sure she has a lot of inflammation and mucus because it ages you backwards, this stuff. And so I'm sure she's got a lot of stuff, which I had just seen a thing about all these different eye diseases that they tell us about. What have I motherfucking been saying? Now there's goddamn worms in my eyes and shit. And that has come now that's what it is. It's parasites in our eyes. And that's why glaucoma and all that stuff. My glaucoma got, which isn't even real glaucoma. It is got an injury. But I think it's basically the same thing. Something happens and then you get all this like bacteria inside your body, which I feel kind of like this belly button thing has something to do with that. Like, I was so interesting with Jupiter. I hadn't even thought about the belly button, all the people in those rings and the toxins that people right there, because it is like our portal to life. The more I see it like that, is like it's our portal to ourselves. It's like we go through the sun into this reality, and then we go through this belly button. It's like this traveling a tunnel kind of until we zap into here as energy. And so it's I don't know, it's trippy. And then when I started thinking about that being like a portal to life and our connection, it's like our lifeline. I bet you our soul, that's that where they talk about that we're tethered to our soul, is I bet that's the lifeline. It comes through our belly button. And so, and like we're a kite. Well, really, we're like a fucking anchor. We're heavy. But the soul has to have, it has to deal with the heaviness to let it go to become lighter. You can't be light if you have nothing to know the dark. How can you claim to be light if you've never experienced the dark? So that is, you have to become full, become whole, not just a part of something, and think you're whole and think that you are the all. So it's like all, but it's like souls are all different of like energy states and states of consciousness. And so all the different energies and stuff of the different energy forms and stuff. So there's some energy forms around us that are much bigger, even if they seem smaller. It's almost like a big energy around us that is a chameleon that does become what it is that we put out, that we want our exterior to be. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of so in other words, like the chair, the lamp, the rug, the environment is one energy, not just like, oh, the chair is its own. But see, a chair can become its own because it can begin to absorb all the energy of the people that sit in it. And so if you have like there's been chair hauntings and stuff like that. One big haunting thing, and the man kept standing in his chair. He was always sitting in this chair. But this, I made a fire. It smells like Christmas, but it's really smoky. And now I'm like thinking, oh God, this is gonna be sucky on my throat. God, I was like, fuck, another motherfucking winter, and it's already starting. Oh my God, damn. Oh God, it's just like fuck. It just like speeds up faster and faster and longer, colder and colder, more. And it's like, oh God, it's gonna be snowing. I'm losing hope on the son-in-law situation coming, and I just keep trusting the universe. Okay, well, you have a plan. Like, I've got to just trust it's everything's fine. But it's very, it's a challenge. These are challenges. These aren't just easy things. And this is something too, is that I was really having this realization about there's all these people who play the part of a spiritual person instead of being a spiritual person. And that's something that you've got to kind of just mull over, I think, to kind of really get it. Because there's a lot of people who think that they're spiritual people, but they're playing the part. It's like you have to legitimately be looking at life through spiritual perspective, not just like, what is a spiritual person wear, and it's weird. But that, I think, is a big part of this blowing up in their faces. Because like there's this one girl, I've talked about her, like I've seen her videos, and I've talked periodically about some of the stuff that I've seen her do or say or something. And I'm just always like, but she is one of the starseed people who very in ego, spiritual, um, what is that called? Because she says, that she's an Anunnaki princess. She knows more, like if I've seen her do videos talking to people like, well, I'm an Anunnaki princess, so, like you're a stupid idiot. And so real in ego. And this is something that just trips me out with all these people who are think they're so spiritual, is this direction that they go. So the Chosen, all these other NPCs, and this whole thing. Oh, you got to manifest $1 million and all that, or you're just not living your best life. And then the so I had before, a long while ago, she was always talking about how healed she was and stuff. And then, you don't need to convince anybody of anything. You just need to live. Your feedback will come back to you, but it may not come in the direction of what you think. It'll come back to you in the relationships around you. And you are the one who has to be looking deeper. Oh, that's what it was, though. We'll have to see how I circle back into that, because it was something that I was looking at, and it was like these deeper perspectives. It was something that was showing me like, oh, I gotta share that. And so, so we'll see. But so on her thing, so I had seen back, and I always try and tell people about healing, because when you've really done it, then I don't know, you change. You just see a lot of things and stuff, like especially spiritual healing. Is Western medicine healing is different than spiritual healing. And so she was always talking about like that she was so healed and this and that. And then it was her mom was so abusive, and that she always, and she still always talks about all her diagnoses. And I think she's still on a lot of medications, and she's always claiming a lot of mental illness and stuff like that. And which is all 3D, which is all like when you go through your healing, you start seeing, oh, these are just barriers. These are obstacles put up to try and hold me back. There's nothing wrong with me. And but this is the journey to self. And as long as you keep buying their packages, they're going to keep giving them to you. And so, and her and I have had so many strange interactions. Even in the very beginning, it was that she may have been talking to me, and I didn't know the name until she kept saying something. And then she wanted to know how in the world that I could be supportive of Donald. Like, she was just like, what in the world? And this was a couple of years ago. And so I tried to say, it's not, people are not seeing the same things. Like, your media is showing you something different. And hold on, let me get another drink. And whatever it was, this was a few years ago, so I don't really remember. And at this time, she was there was a video came up of she was at her house, and I can't stand these fucking videos. I swear to God, I cannot believe how many people do this. It is so goddamn tell you, it's not spiritual. Uh, so she is fighting with her mother. So I would say there's some provocation happening, and videotaping her mom. And her mom is just had it, and her mom is wants her to get out and stuff, and she's just saying so much stuff. I was like, girl, 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 you are not healed. Like, um, and I think at that time I may have even told her, on my YouTube, I talk about healing all the time and stuff. I've told a few people, but not very many people from TikTok come over here. And all of you guys, the people who are here, I feel like it's kind of more like the universe has brought you to me or something, you know what I'm saying? And 'cause there's a lot of people like that don't understand me at all on TikTok. And so then whatever her thing was, when she was questioning me about Donald, and I was telling her, because I'm going to say what my truth is. I'm not going to just backpedal, because in order to try and please somebody, and that is such a huge thing that is the surface right now. And that's this mama tot fry up situation, and all of the hypocrisy, all this different stuff, like the Tyra Banks and her weight, and just a whole bunch of stuff, like what I hear these people all talking about is there's certain things coming up to the surface. And so anyways, then I had seen and I was so put off. And right before that video, when she was saying that she was having to leave where she was and she was messaging me, she was saying that she wanted to come up and visit me, that she's not very far from me. And so I was like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, come up. That'd be fun. And I think it was like she wanted to come up and spend the night or something. I don't remember what it was. But it was like this conversation going back and forth. It seemed drug out to me. It's like, okay, if you want to come, just, let's set up a plan. But we don't have to keep hashing it over. But then that video popped up with her mom. And see, this is where I know I talked about it when I was recording. Because I was like, oh, man. Like I told this person they could come, and now I'm looking at them like, fuck, this person's like a provocateur or something. Like they're trying to provoke, especially with their mom, and trying to make it all public and humility. And I was like, luckily she went in a different direction, and she went off and she went to Utah. Like there was all this drama that she was showing, and she kept saying, that she was just growing and growing and growing. And so she was doing all these videos, and would pop up, and she was doing all that. And she seemed to be kind of not around that much, but then all of a sudden she came back hot. And it seems like there was another thing in there, because I would see her videos popping up, and she would be arguing with or she would just be like, I don't know, this Anunnaki princess queen shit, and being really condescending to people, and but claiming to be, starseed. And then she does videos all the time talking to starseeds, and whatever, she's in this group of people that they're all like this. This is how I see some of those stuff that the people talk about, is like this, like in her conversations and stuff, because it's all public, and they pop up. And when then something pops up to me, it's like the universe is showing me something. And hold on, let me get another drink. I should have brought my little stir thing. Because all the powder is settled or something. Just, I don't know, it tastes funky. So, okay, it tastes like too watered down. Okay, so I'll just heat it back up in a minute. So, anyways, she was doing that kind of stuff, and then and the conversations and stuff, and I was like, man, these spiritual people are so different than like thinking they're healed and this person's broken and they're going to make sure that everybody in the world sees. Okay, that's I would say the opposite of spiritual, but okay, let's go. And then the meds thing. Oh, that's what it was the other day. It was a couple weeks ago. I was, and I'm anti medicine. Oh yeah, that's why I didn't finish yesterday too on the insurance thing. Like they FedExed me this fucking thing from Humana. It says that Humana is no longer going to be insurance, so insurances are falling. I've said, and and it's my Medicare insurance, you know. And so then it was like all of a sudden I felt like I was like free falling, like, oh my gosh, I won't have any insurance because I'm not going to go in and, you know, that was just like a fallback thing. I'm not going to go in and sign up for any of their shit. Nothing. I just can't even believe these people that want to go and still go and sign those things in November where it's like, and I've been saying on TikTok, and some people are like, yeah, yeah, because it is like they already showed us what they're doing. And it's like us surrendering. Like we've already seen they can take 4 fucking years in this fake ass bullshit. And we're going to go in and play this again? No. And at the same time, they're wiping out zip codes and people are all displaced. I mean, this is the easiest way to cheat. Like, this is fucking ridiculous, man. And I can't believe every fucking person isn't saying, no, stop this vote. No, we're not doing this. And then people are like, yeah, well, we got to get the other guy in. Okay, it's his turn. So how's that working out for us? So that is like the most idiocracy I've ever heard. No, that we the people, we need to say, stop this. We're not doing this. And then we need to say, and by the way, we see what y'all are doing here and we want some investigate. We, the people, need to take in some investigate. We, the people, need to start turning the tables on these people. We need to make arrests. We need to stand up for ourselves. And the people all just want to sit back, fill in a dot, and wait for a savior. And then it will be another 4 fucking years. And then it is a surrender to this blue. And then it is so crazy too, is blue is so insane. I mean, it is weird because I started thinking it's because the blue bloods and the blue bloods are like the aristocrats and stuff. And so that they are the ones in charge. And then this blue that runs us, and they run us through our own mental entanglement. And that is the thing that is just drives me crazy with all these people. And that's why I've said, like, there's going to be a lot of these spiritual people are going to show. People just don't realize that so many of these healers and all that are very blue. And now it's going to show because in 2020, when the first one happened, people didn't, you know, there was like when people weren't talking about it. Now, I mean, it's already passed. And then people are kind of like, don't talk about it. And, I mean, I'm sure there's like a lot of tarot readers. Well, I don't want to say something against Donald and then have all the, could lose customers, you know. So, however, whatever, everybody's got a lot of different things playing out. So, whatever. But that is going to, at this time, come to the surface where people are going to start seeing that all of these people are, the spiritual people are blue. They're not red. Once they, there could be some, it'll be scattered like me. You know, I wouldn't even say I'm red. I'm just like, I see the two things. I'm like, no, this is bullshit. And then plus on the whole spiritual perspective is like, this is the end of this dependency. And this morning when abolitionist came into my mind. So then I asked Siri, what's abolitionist? And it was the people who were that were in the communities and stuff. The abolitionists were the ones that were taking down slavery. They were ending slavery and stuff. And see, that's what we're doing here. We're ending the slavery of mankind. And so there is some of us who are here as abolitionists who are here to just break this shit up and just keep fucking crunching it and telling people and screaming it out and getting people to realize what the fuck. But I saw in 2020, that is what I was saying, was like I was following all these spiritual channels and, you know, it was a part of like trying to, you know, figure out what the fuck was going on in the world. And then, or in me specifically, because nobody else was understanding, you know, what I was going through. Like everything was turning 3D, like it was weird. And I would say it to people and they'd be like, what are you talking about? I'd be like, what about the sky? And they'd be like, oh my God, it's normal. What's wrong with you? I'd be like, it's not normal. Like, what? And then I was like, point out to people, like, the sun's not even supposed to be there. Like, what's happening? And so it was really hard when you start going through it by yourself and you're telling people. And so the outlet, of course, was YouTube, as what I found. So when I was following all these different people, but then once it got closer into the period of November, then it was no, it was the sickness. That's what it was. Oh yeah, because it was a sickness. Because it was at the end. It was at the end of the year was when we do the thing. So we had all that year of quarantine, and so it was on the videos. And so, but the videos I would go in and listen to the spiritual people, I was like, these people don't have any clue what's going on. Like, this is weird. Like, I always, it was crazy. And then for them to say about being spiritual and stuff, and the stuff they were saying, I was like, what? And so I started seeing through that whole thing hard. And then as been all these Republican channels were on live all the time. And I was going in and listening. And then I was on social media, I started witnessing all of the bullying, which shows you how the biases work and the bullies. The ones that are the most sensitive are the biggest bullies. It was like showing me all of these different things throughout all of this stuff. So it is like you bear witness to what's happening. And as I bear witness, so on this girl, so a couple weeks ago, I was talking something about the medical, and you guys know how against I am the medical, and it's all about this pulling into taking care of ourselves and this different kind of lifestyle than what they've sold us and stuff. And so, and definitely it doesn't involve chemicals, anything artificial. And because the organic, it's like taking Roundup and pouring it on something organic. We're organic, and they keep pouring chemicals on us, and it is it's too bad. It's too toxic. And so if we want to live and feel good and be healthy and stuff, then we have to, do all this other stuff. And like I'm telling you, my mom is for sure aging backwards, like for sure. And I'm really curious to see how far it goes back. Because like I just couldn't believe how good she looks. And their hair is like where it used to be. It was white. It was so white, that last picture. And I'm sure I still have the picture. Her hair was so white when she sent it to me, and I was like, fuck, man, her hair got so white. And now it's all dark, but it's like more of a gray. It's kind of like it starts kind of looking yellowish, kind of. It starts just getting more of the color back in it. Again, this is something I really wanted to make clear, is because I keep seeing these videos, these women constantly doing this stuff with their gray and showing, and what they're showing is their grow out, and that they are letting their hair go natural. And I'm doing the exact opposite. I let my hair go natural in 2015, and now I am turning it back naturally in color by using minerals. And so I'm showing that my hair is going back to the natural color, and not even just the natural color, it's changing the natural color into like a richer, shinier version. And that, where women start feeling like, well, they're getting older, they got menopause, all this stuff, as their hair dries out and turns gray. It's the lack of minerals. It changes. And then it changes in your skin and stuff. And it definitely, I could see in my mom's, like, if she didn't have the puffiness around her eyes, it would be, well, I don't know. I mean, all of her whole face looks so much younger. And so, a lot of people have, um, everybody looks older around their eyes. That is a part as we get older. That's a part of us that gets older looking. And I mean, when you go and you look at all these different movie stars and stuff, and you see that's the part that kind of changes. That's where they get some of them to go in and do these surgeries, and then it just jacks up their face or something with this. Because I see these plastic surgeons on there too. And it's something about when they do this eyelid thing, as a lot of people, and there's exercises. I'll show you the exercise that this girl was just showing. So you hold your head. So hold your forehead. And then you just hold it like that. And then you lift your eyebrows. You should do it like, I don't know, 100 times or something. 20. Do it how many ever times you want to do it. Just do it. But that lifts this muscle. You'll feel what muscles, because you'll feel it with your hand. But you do that, and it is like doing these muscles. And this girl showed her before and after, and it was like 2 weeks. And she had lifted it. And then also there's some for forehead wrinkles, like all this stuff that we get as we age. We can all reverse it. And so now when I sent my mom that stuff, it's like she's getting like into it. And so I'm excited. Like when you see like these jumps, it's like dramatic. It's like very exciting. And you know, when I know all these different people, it's very strange to watch these women, you know, claiming their independence through letting their hair go natural, when it's like that's and so many of these people, because we would look at these ladies with this pure silver hair and be like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And now it's just like, oh my God, they are so drained of all their minerals. And so there's going to be that big part in that kind of like jolt of, in the awakening part. But anyways, on those girls, I still hadn't finished this part. So I was saying something about medical or something like that. And so she chimes in, you know, my comments, and starts telling me like, oh, you know, I've had such good results with blah, 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 and these drugs and whatever. Like I said, she's really into her diagnoses and her drugs and stuff. And she does videos all the time. Well, you know, I have 5 mental illnesses. She has 3 or 5 or something, and she said. And she's on a lot of different medications and stuff. And so then she said, and a lot of her videos is about healing, but a lot of it is directed towards light workers and starseeds and stuff. And so she comes in my comments to tell me that, and I was just like, okay, good for you. Like, you know, I don't know. So I'm supposed to, that's going to change my mind? No, I've got my own stuff from Western medicine, like. And I'm like, and then what was it? Because it was then it was another one. I said something, and she came in and did the same thing. It's like, chick, like, you don't have to just come in and but I can't remember what it was now. But now, the one I just saw, the video I had just seen, what was that other one? Because there was another thing where I was like, this is so weird. And well, a lot of stuff back and forth with Chosens and Starseeds and whatnot. But anyways, the one that she just did, it was, you know, that she's really been looking into it, and really is liking what she's seeing. And she's really, you know, she's all in on this Kamala thing. And then this is the blue people. And then how many of these, you know, new spiritual people, these Western spiritual people, like, are all on Bashar too. And, you know, they're all like, and for him to even say that, I feel like, is he some kind of a psyop plant or something? Because it's very strange. And there could be people who think like, well, she's so strange. She says, I'm not telling you who to go out and put, you know, onto your little thing. I'm saying that the whole thing is a lot different than what people think. And it is way more of a submission. It's a way more of a like, okay, you guys are in charge. You're in charge. Well, okay, yeah, we'll say this guy. We want him out of our choices. It's that guy. It's like, no, you're not in charge of me. And no, I don't want you in charge of me. I don't need you in charge of me. I don't need to live by your rules. And I 100% believe that Donald is only a step down. And it's so weird, too, is watching all of these people be so much about this certain information, and it's going to flip. It's going to flip on them. All these things that they think, like what is blows my mind. Yesterday I was fucking, oh, I couldn't even believe this, because it was, I went on to TikTok to see what was going on. I think like twice yesterday, and both times it was like so fucking annoying. It was like, oh, I can't even stand it. So I went on and I was seeing this live, kept popping up, and fucking the Running Mate guy. Like, are you kidding me? Not the JD, the other one. And which you got this whole group. Oh, JD's cabal, and this is all this stuff. It's like, there's some of the stuff I feel like is just based on paranoia. Some of it is based on just not having all the information. Like, you have to really be looking into things. And I just saw somebody say, like, people who have had traumatic lives are the ones who were the ones sitting there telling you what's about to happen in the movie. See, I drove people crazy doing that. And so again, like, is being a psychic really like just an obscure thing, or is it where you pay attention, what you're looking at, and I can see way ahead. I don't know how it works. I can just see ahead. And I've been able to do it forever. And then it was this time period is when I was like, I'm supposed to be sharing information. And so because I was somebody who was like in the shadows for sure. And I liked it there. I did not want to be, it made me uncomfortable because everywhere I would go, people would always be looking at me. It was so funny when my ex, whatever, I think it was last year, because we haven't seen each other in a long while. And we were out on a hike with the kids and the dogs and stuff. And he was talking about becoming invisible. And he said this, and I was like, that's the opposite thing that happens with me. Like, the older I get, the more people that look at me. Like, I'm sure it's the tattoos. But anyways, yeah, I've had like I've felt like I've had an audience on me my whole life. So, and I always felt like people were going to know something about me or see something about me, which on my stomach thing too is like, if I look in the mirror, I swear to God, I can see like a ring around this area, and it loops in from my belly button to the wound thing. And I was thinking, I wonder if that is because that is like the death of this is linked to my birth of this or something, because everything is about these lessons. Oh, that's what it was. It was this thing. Okay. Yeah. So, let me finish this other thing first, because that was what the thing was, where I was like, oh, I got to share this. Hopefully I can get to all this stuff that I was getting from it. But anyways, the girl, these people who are gonna go in this one direction, it is, I mean, like, I don't think, I'm not even convince anybody, like this is just so fucking bizarro world, to me. But to me is, what I witness, what I see in the spiritual understanding of things, is that Donald is, there's like so many levels of things, but there's a certain level where he is carrying the burden. He's the target. And then it is all of the things that we should be paying attention to. Like, this is also in the state of micro, macro, and distraction. Think about all of the distractions and stuff. And so all the things that we should be noticing, we're not noticing. So he, as a target or whatever, this carrying this burden for humanity of being the target for us to, keep saying nasty things. Like, he's got these people, but it was really bad there for a while. Like, there was so much meanness that went to him. And then once there was this big wave that went through and people saw, and that was like around 2020, then his thing became a lot more explosive. And that was, and in that time period when it was becoming so explosive, when he was getting people's attention and he was talking every day and he was saying things, there was a lot of people that started catching on and seeing things. And then there was a lot of stuff going on with the sickness, all of that stuff. And he was saying a lot of stuff. And all the things that he was saying have all been playing out because they already knew what was going to play out, because this is all, it's like a stage performance, because there's people who know what's happening before. And I think it has a lot of different levels again, but I think, there's like Looking Glass and stuff, but there is this wave of this expansion or this evolving for humanity. So this is a given. This is written in the stars, and it's we are in the experience of it playing out. And so it's playing out the way it's going to play out. We, you can get up this morning, doesn't matter which side of the bed you're going to get up on, it's going to be the same day. And so, but our days come to us for us to experience for our own learning. Like life is literally happening for you so that you can learn and expand and grow from it. But people are resistant to that because they are in pain and suffering and under an illusion and fear, and not understanding that they're eternal and that they have nothing to fear. And so they're very absorbed into the experience, and that is a downfall of the new Western spiritual people, is because they are so a product of the three-dimensional reality. Their whole tie is more to the three-dimensional reality rather than to their spirit and what they're really doing here and what's going on and stuff like that. So that and see, all this stuff is going to play out, and it's playing out. And the thing is like, if you're watching, it's like it's playing out in a certain direction, and you have all these different aspects, and they're all like in a race. It's like one of those races where all those cars are going around in all these loops. So all this race of all of this is going, but it's going, and everything is going fast, but then all of a sudden it's going to turn the other direction. And when it turns the other direction, it's going to be like, I don't know, Hot Wheels, all of a sudden just woo, loop. And then, so there'll be a pile up of, because everybody is going mindlessly around this loop, and then all of a sudden it's going to flip, and there's going to be a pile up, so all these go and hit, and so that is going to be like the whoa, what the fuck just happened, where humanity is just like stop, everything stops for like I think we all stop breathing for a minute, like something big is going to happen. And then that is and it's all of these people, and seeing, we're at all different stages. Like there's the, where they're all going as fast as they can go, and it's going faster and faster and faster. And some of us are standing there watching, and it's like, I don't know, it's like there's different, depending on your perspective and where you are in that observation, or how deep you are into the immersion, then that will show you more of what you will physically expire, but experience, physical experience. And so so the people who are going, mindlessly really fast, when they hit into that, all of the things that they had thought that was directing them and motivating them is all of a sudden going to hit into a wall and throw them in a new direction. And that's why I said all these different things that they are doing and saying and stuff is a part of what they're going to have to look at. So all these things have to occur, even though they seem like mental. And that's what these people are going to get to witness in themselves. And so that is when things flip back. And that's when they flip back, that's when you see yourself. And that is what this, the awakening, this grand thing. I don't know if it is the ascension. I don't know if it's the solar flash. I just know that this is going to happen. And to me, what has always made sense was that it was going to direct people into healing, because people were going to suddenly see what they hadn't seen before, which I would call that the tribulation, because that is where you have to go in and face yourself, and that is a true battleground. But the tribulation would lead to redemption, because then you would lead yourself into redeeming yourself and feeling good about yourself and letting go of the things, and it's a process. And so that is what the universe is going to force everybody into doing. And so what I have witnessed is definitely they're taking down all government. Like, this is the collapse of all of it. And but there will be, because of dependency, there will be like a step down unit, an assist program or something. And there will be more, because it is like you're programmed by your purpose. And so there's people here who are very driven, and everything in their life has been teaching them how to become leaders and develop communities and stuff. So we will have those people, all of a sudden we will have communities being developed, and it will just naturally happen. And it will be pulling free from any federal city governments and stuff like that. So however it goes, it's going to go into much smaller. So it's all going to fall apart. And Donald is just a transition person, but he had gone from being hated to being loved. And so his thing has grown. But it is also, you have all these people who are very dependent on him and look at him as a savior, which he's not. And I think that's why a lot of times where he does and says weird things, but is because then those people have to experience, like, well, how can you support someone who does this or says that? And it gets the people who are too dependent on him to question themselves, because that's all that it really matters, is questioning yourself and not just being all in. Like, I'm all in. Whatever he does, I'm doing. Whatever he says, I'm saying. It's like you have to be independent from everybody, because you are independent. You are separate. You're not the same as them. And you have an individual perspective, and that is where the value lies. And until you can be strong enough to claim your independent perspective, then you go through these periods of dependency and latching on or anchoring on to other people. And so that is going to be a part where a lot of, when people see themselves, is that they're going to see all these different parts of themselves. So he's going to be also showing people, through their, both sides will get, because he is a target, he's a catalyst of energy, he's where there's a lot of focus. And so in all these different perspectives focusing, but when the thing goes, then it creates everybody to experience themselves. So whatever their perspective was, it will come back to them. So they will see their perspective, and that will be their thing that leads them into their healing and stuff. So it's not that, oh, yay, him for president, we're going to move, into our glory days or whatever. His whole thing is about that. It's about this leveraging the communities and stuff. They're going to be giving lots of communities to build up. There's going to be all these leaders that are going to come out from different spaces in the communities to start building up. And there's going to be a lot of people who are in pain and suffering. There's going to be a lot because of their own choices. And there's going to be a lot of like healing centers and stuff. And so it will be going in these other directions. So I think that this whole thing in November is ridiculous. I think that we all need to come together, and for one thing, and stand up for the people whose zip codes are gone, and say, no, not until you fix it. Not until every single person as a home are we going to say anything to you guys? And, but we have to take a stand and stick together and not be all like, and people are too desperate. And so desperation is going to lead us into crises, and the crises is what is going to turn us around. And I just don't know what the crisis is, but I can see it coming. And it's going to be, there's going to be a lot of drama, but it's going to be where people, everybody's going to see themselves more clearly. And in that is where we're going to start going in that new direction of healing. So yeah, all of you guys that are real motivated about helping and healing, don't worry that it's not going smoothly yet. Just keep working towards your desires and your goals of where, and make sure when you're working towards your desires and your goals that you're following your direction and not trying to force what you think you're supposed to do, because things happen naturally, and it's almost unnatural to let things happen naturally. Like, you have to really kind of fight yourself to let things just occur naturally, because you want to go in and start fixing it and doing it. Oh, well, I've got to do this, I better call them, I better situate this and all that. And and I really been noticing that, like, about the Archie thing, which I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna make the choice and just say, um I'm just gonna tell him I'm gonna keep him. So I'm not gonna let those people meet him because it was like yesterday. I was like going like, man, am I gonna get myself into more of a thing? Because it's like, oh, I'm gonna keep him, I'm gonna keep him, and then he's going to turn my life into hell and be attacking him all the time, like, some of his little personality quirks. And so yesterday morning he had gone into terror mode and he's fucking going crazy. And so then I told him to stop it, and he'll stop immediately. And then I'll give him a little lecture, about how to play nice and be sweet to each other and love each other and stuff like that. And they'll sit there attentively listening. And I will get a video today because we got to go get water. I think I'm going to go pick up some weed. I'm holding on to some money, but, this is going to cost. And see, there's a pressure, like the universe is bringing in a pressure, but it was making me really look at it. And then I just started seeing, that he tries so hard and he is improving all the time. And these guys together, they're so cute. Even though he's still kind of scared of Stella, he's getting more and more trust, and they're all getting more and more trust with each other. And they're just the cutest little pack. And so I really want to keep them together because I think that they are all like kind of dependent on each other. Like, as soon as one starts barking, they jump up together, and it's like they have each other's backs, And especially the two little ones are like two little brothers. Stella is definitely like the older lady, which on the thing of having a dog to raise your other dogs, one thing is, like yesterday I left and I went to go get some food. I just ran up to the food bank across the street yesterday evening, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna leave him, he's gonna scream the whole time I'm gone, and the neighbor's gonna be freaking out. And so I left. I didn't hear him screaming when I left. I came back and he wasn't screaming and everything was calm. I was like, oh good. And you just gotta keep working up little time. And so if I do end up going to that concert, if that ends up happening, then I could leave them, go to the concert, and drive back. Even though I don't like that. If the weather is bad, then I would be too worried of a washout, because then you can't get back to them. And then it's like, fuck, man. So anyways, and I don't want to go drive a couple of hours at night in bad weather anyways. So I'd probably just tell her to give my ticket to one of her friends or something. I'll just see. To me, it's like I just gotta go with the flow, play it by ear. All of a sudden, I thought, oh my gosh, my boob hanging out. Yeah. So anyways, okay, the dogs. To finish about that, so I yeah, he was acting like, anyways, I feel very much like, and then all the things keep highlighting in my mind, the things that she wants out of a dog, thinking, man, he won't, I don't think that it's the right fit for them, for what it is they want and what his things are, especially if I were to send him on his way. I think he will get so much more anxiety. And dogs get anxiety, especially these ones that are going into shelters and stuff. That's what people don't realize, even when they go and adopt the dogs, and then the dogs have these bad behaviors, which I feel bad about Millie, and I would have kept her. Like, I was trying as hard as I could. I was trying to train her and do everything. I thought she was so pretty. I thought she was the most cutest thing. And I really, really wanted her. But I could not handle, because how vicious she was. Like, she didn't just go and nip at Stella. No, she was attacking her. She was tearing her up. Stella was getting tore up. I was like, no, I can't. And Stella is very passive. I had to say, but she's very set in her direction. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say, was because so when the dog, so for Stella, like, she's older. And so I was noticing, like, everything I do is like, to them, they go crazy. Like, I'm making a fire. They're putting their faces right in it. Like, what the hell is happening? And they get all crazy about every single little new thing. And Stella is very calm and just sits there and stuff. So then they always look over at her, and it's always like, oh, okay, so it's okay, it's calm. So we'll just sit and watch. So it helps them to kind of level out of what's crazy and what's not crazy when you have a dog that's older and more stable. But you got to watch out, because there can be different personalities with the older dogs. And so, because like at my daughter's, she has an older dog that's much older. That dog's like 50, no, how old is she? She got her right when she got out of high school. So when she was 18, and I think she's turning 31. She could be turning 32. When was she born? 92. So she was born in 92. And when she turned 18, she got this little dog. She moved out and she got this little dog. And so her dog is now older. And then her other dog died during this. I talked about that, the cancer, and the stuff, they shouldn't have taken it out, like all of those things. And them removing his organ created the bloat. So it all, like, I tried to tell her to do natural, but people just don't trust that yet. They still trust Western medicine. And so, and that's the part with these people who are like super spiritual, who are like the light bringer, whatever. It's like, but then what are you bringing the light to? That you're super spiritual and everybody else, what are you shining the light on? And so it's like, you're all trapped in the system. You're running to the doctor and getting this and getting that. And so, anyways, where was I? Did I finish about that? Because now I'm getting pulled into the belly button thing again. Yeah, so the dogs, was that even what I was talking about? I don't know. But on the belly button thing again. So, okay, so Millie being, yeah, because it is like, if you get a dog out of a shelter or any kind of situation, I can still see Max, how much the streets have affected him. But he's getting better. He's getting so much more calm about the food, and it's become so much calmer. So, even this morning, they sat there all in a little thing, all next to each other, eating their own treats. And nobody got up to try and take anybody's treat. And they do all try and eat as fast as they can, but I've always given them another treat. So I've gotten them to not go after each other to try and take the treats away. So now they're all just very calm and just like, okay. And I don't know, it's worked for our house. So anyways, on the belly button thing. So for one thing, how I was seeing it, because it's like this, like my belly button, and I feel like this stab thing is here, and like I feel like when I look, I see like this little, like, puffy part, And on the belly button thing too, because I had tried the castor oil thing. It was at the summertime, and when I was at my mom's, and she has that really good castor oil, and I had put the castor oil in my belly button a couple times here with my castor oil because I had seen so many people talking about online. I didn't know about the what Jupiter was talking about in comments. I didn't know, it's a practice and stuff like that. I had only heard people talking about if you put the castor oil in your belly button, it will help you balance your hormones and all sorts of stuff that it says that it does. And so I had done it a few times. And then I went to my mom's, and she has this really intense, like she has castor oil from back at the 60s. And so I used some of that. And that before, when I was at her house and I had used it on something, it like went away instantly. I was like, oh my God, this shit is magic. And so I wanted to put some in my belly button because I'd been doing that. But when I put it in there, that is when I started noticing there's something weird has been happening. So I put it in there twice while I was at her house. And then I'd come, and then at some point, whatever, and I had noticed this weird drainage or smell or something coming out of my belly button. And so then I was like, oh, that's weird. And then trying to clean it, and it was like, oh man, look, I do a belly button. I cannot. When people oh God, no, please. And so even just messing with it, and I feel like there's like this little bone thing, like So I don't like pushing around in there and cleaning. Like I don't like that. And so I had gotten cotton and stuff and was trying to clean it. And then I got this big red rash, like it was inside of it. And then I plus have this other like little sore inside of it. And then it keeps doing this like, drainage or something. And I was like, this must be something with the toxins or something in this area. And then I was thinking this morning, so when they go and they do those laparoscopies, because I had several of those things. I don't like when I got my tubes tied, it was a laparoscopy. When I had a laparoscopy for something else. I know I had 2 laparoscopies. And then there was something else. I know, I just feel certain there was some other thing that they went through my belly button. Maybe it was something with the hysterectomy. Maybe they punched through there with the camera or something. I don't know what the hell with all their fucking insanity. But anyways, I was thinking, I bet you that there could be like a little pus pocket or anything in there from that wound. And I have noticed so much like where my gallbladder was taken out, and that muscle. So the muscle package, whatever, the muscle group that's right at my rib cage, that one I have not been able to, like the one they cut through down through my C-section on my hysterectomy, I've been able to pull that muscle. Like I think I can get it way better, but I've been able to activate and work on that muscle. This one right here, I haven't figured out, like, and I can definitely tell like where my gallbladder was out. It was like a sink in place or something. And so this right by my belly button part, I was like, oh my gosh, that could totally be some kind of like inflammation or tumor or what, because everything is a tumor, because your body takes whatever the bacteria, the bugs that are out to get you, and then they encapsulate it and make it into a tumor. So and it can be in, I guess, varying degrees of what is being held and how big it is and all of the different kinds of tissue and stuff. So, which is so weird because I don't even believe in flesh and blood. Like, this is so weird. Like, this is so trippy because it's like a virtual world, but we're talking about this in a real, like, it's so weird. So anyways, I was thinking that, so there totally could be behind my belly button and putting in that castor oil, especially my mom's, because that stuff is strong, I think, and that is where it really seemed to do something weird. But now it just keeps doing this weird rash thing, or it hurts and it burns. I keeps having this smell that is just this weird smell. And but it's very much a distinct smell. It has its own smell. Like, as soon as I smell it now, it's like, oh my gosh, my belly button has that drain thing happening. And then but on the thing with the stab, so I was it was yesterday, I was thinking of something came into my mind, and it was like, oh, so the person who stabbed me, I trusted them. So I was like, I trusted them, and then they killed me. And then this morning, I was getting this thing about, like, the person who killed me trusted me, and they trusted me, and that's why they were so mad. And so I don't know, but I was thinking, like, so it has something to do with trust. And then you start looking at patterns in your life. So you start looking backwards in your life of certain patterns of things that you are here to learn. Like, and you'll be able to tell because it will be a repetitive thing in your life. Like, oh man, these reoccurring kind of things that are teaching you these lessons. And so trust definitely has been a part of my experience. And oh, yeah, because that is something that is constantly being echoed in my mind. And especially throughout all this stuff. But even on the drive, when the drive to go get my explant was so intense, and they kept saying, trust, trust, trust. And I was like, fuck. And I felt like the things were coming at me just like right now. And how things keep coming at me. It's frustrating too. Like, every fucking thing that you do and then you touch, things are flying and falling like that. Like, just like that. Oh, God damn. And so, it is, I don't know, it is like this intense kind of energy of that is around us, and it is, all this is speeding up and speeding up and speeding up. And so, like, if you go and you look at these different patterns, you can find what it is that you're trying to heal and work on, because it is very much like um a scavenger hunt of life, of trying to figure out what it is that you are working on. Like, we got plenty to do with just that. Trying to control the world is a lot, it's like a distraction. It's like, well, I don't know how to manage my life, but I'm going to control the world. And so it is a lot more about you trying to manage yourself and to understand yourself. And so when you go in and you look at these different patterns, and then you can see, like, okay, so trust is something that I'm working towards or on, or whatever it is. Like, different things will come up. And but those are where you will start to, when you're going in the right direction, you'll start noticing the physical representation that's trying to show you something will start to improve. So when I hit the target, that is when I'll see the area becomes healed. And then I have something with my back too. And I've got the whole scoliosis. 'Cause the scoliosis thing is what, they got me on with the Western medicine anyways. And migraines and scoliosis. And um, and now I am, considering how much scoliosis is affected by all of the surgeries and healing and all these weird kind of ways. But, and I've been having this back thing. And when I keep feeling like way down low, it feels like it's kind of like sticking out or something. And I keep trying to feel, because I've said, like, I've been working on trying to straighten my spine for a long while. And so I like, feel it and stuff, and see, like, if I can feel the curve and wear and stuff. I feel like my back has improved. I feel like my what is that called? Our keep hearing spinal, but it's that thing. Well, they used to, when I was younger, constantly tell us to stand up straight, posture. And so I've been really working on that, standing up straight, where to hold my shoulders, where to hold my hips. And that's where I started really noticing the injury to my hips through all the incisions and the injuries to the muscles and how it was affecting my posture. And so all of these different things, see, is your activation towards your healing. And through the different things that you face in yourself heals these older wounds and stuff. So I think, I don't know, but I feel for sure like there's some kind of thing going on here. Like my body is like getting rid of toxins or something from whatever injury there that would also be associated to, I don't know, like a submission of, the doctors can save me, an expectation, even though it's manipulated. But still, we look outside of ourselves for a savior because we're going to be adapting in a very different way. We're going in a very different direction, or we're going to be very self-driven and motivated to heal ourselves. And we're going to have a very deep understanding about how to do that. And, in the thing I was saying, I think it was yesterday or something about us being able to do like superhero stuff. Like the thing that I always see is like, okay, so if you were running and then it's going to be like being able to, like, sometimes when the dogs will be running they'll take air, or like deers. I think that we're going to become more like that. Like we can be going and we can do these giant leaps. Like we can go way further. Like we're not going to be so much we're going to be like woo woo woo. Like there's going to be things like that are going to change. And there's going to be a change in, like, I don't know. Maybe people, instead of sitting in chairs, we're just going to sit around levitating or something. I don't know. Like, but there's going to be things that are going to be changing a lot, like that kind of stuff. We're going to go into this very different kind of existence. That is going to be a lot more of us being able to use our abilities, use our bodies better, and to have a deeper understanding of our purpose, what we're doing here, why we're here. And but we do have to go through this big example of healing, this big formatted, it's like a party of healing. And then watching some of these people, it's like dig into their own stories and stuff like that. And these people who are, claiming to be spiritual, and they're really, well, I'm all in on this person. What in the world? And then saying, like, I'm doing all this investigation on this person. It's like, for one thing, when the people are still intersected into that programming, it is one of the things that they've got to realize is their biases and stuff. And where is it that she has anything that she should be proud of? Like where you go like, oh wow, she did this so good. Yeah, she'd make a great one and lead the country. Like what are you talking about? That her record shows, oh yeah, that's what, okay, that's where we'll finish up the day, finish up the morning with this is what I got so fucking irritated. It was someone going on there in fucking Mike's live, it's some town hall thing, bullshit thing. And at the same time, I think I think it was the first video I saw yesterday morning was another one of his uh what do we call those people? Active, the people who stake a claim on, or say you've assaulted me, um, whatever they're called, whistleblowers. I don't remember what we call them. But anyways, so another one of those that has come out, and it was a kid, and these people, they're grown up now. And then this guy said that this really haunted him, this situation that happened. He never told anybody or anything, and he had all these weird things about how he felt about it. But he said once he started seeing other people saying that this happened to them, that it started making him look at it differently. So I see how that can be healing. But throughout his whole life, he has thought that he did something wrong. But when you listen to his story, it's like this. guy is such a predator. He is vile. And him and his wife, I guess, are teachers or something. So they were in the system. Like, how many of these people go get these jobs so that they have access to kids that have problems? And this kid was ranting and raving about problems at home. And then Mike starts, oh, well, you know what your real problem is? You just haven't faced your gayness yet. Let's do it. And he just like, that's what he does all the time to these people. But I don't think he's just all on the boys. I think he's like, but when you say you have these accusers coming out, that's what it's called, accusers. So he has these accusers coming out, and that, you know, this whole section of people who are, I believe, weren't you guys the Me Too movement? I don't know about that. But now all of a sudden, oh, well, we don't hear that. I don't know. I don't think that they're telling the truth. So it's like convenient hypocrisy there. So we're not going to listen to these accusers because we want this guy. And so this is the part of the biases that are being revealed to people. Like, these are the parts of things that people are going to see. So they don't see what's coming. They don't see it coming, but fuck, I do. And so yeah, that guy's out there doing his town hall, and people are talking to him. Like, there's one motherfucking thing you should be talking to that dickhead about. One motherfucking thing. So this is fucking God. No. I just can't even believe it. Like, and so you know, it's gonna keep playing out, and these people, like, it's mind blowing. Yeah, especially when you have these people who want to lead us spiritually through, you know, as the light workers, and everybody's an idiot besides them, is that but they're going to go all in on the blue, is that because there was another thing that I was seeing about that with because it's just so out there and so obvious of what they're doing. And what was the other one? Because I could see it perfect a second ago. Just like came out, I was like, well, what about this one? I was like, yeah, what about that one? And I started trying to say it. What was it again? It was Kamala. Oh, hey, I swear to God, what's her name? That that black girl that is the, I don't know. She's Candace Owens. I'm like, she's all in on this exposing, like every day it's another thing on her. Megyn Kelly, she's all in on this. Tucker, he's all in on this. Elon, I think, Elon may have been like on the bad side, but I think that they have got him on the other side of disclosure, because he is saying so many things. And, but the other thing with these people, what is it besides Mike being the fucking perv, and they want to keep talking about old Donald, who, you know, oh, well, we think that he was with a sex worker one time. Yeah, well, he's not at the school trying to, well, he's not trying, he's fucking him. Yeah, he's not, yeah, the fucking Mr. Cornhole over here. And but there's another thing that they're being obsolete, you know, like, we're not going to pay attention to that. And it's all the things that people are not paying attention to is going to turn around and bite them in the ass. And that is going to be a part of the mindless part of society of just like going out and just keep going and going and going and going. It's going to turn around and bite them in the ass. Everything is going to blow the fuck up. Is whatever direction you're going is going to all of a sudden take you on this other direction. So everybody has to be paying attention to the direction you're going, where you're putting your energy. What are you putting your energy towards? And there's a lot of people putting it towards hatefulness, and it's weird how there is a lot of these blues that are, you know, all, you know, like Kamala's going to be the, when you should be saying that this is the end of politics. This is the freedom of humanity. This is, you know, this is the liberation of mankind. This is letting go of leaders and leadership. This is taking your role as an independent sovereign being. A sovereign soul is willing to take responsibility for itself. So this is a big transition for mankind. And so there's a lot of people who are, slow to the roll. They're not quite there, but they are the ones who are the most, think that they're leading the pack. And that is going to blow up. It's going to really show them, because they are, they've got their own things that they're not awakened to. And especially like showing so much about, I don't know. And I don't remember, even if I keep rambling, it's not coming to me. I'm sure it'll come to me later. when I'm showing the dogs, because somebody wanted to see a video of the dogs. So when we go out to go for a walk, I'll get a video of the dogs, and whatever, if I can remember some of this stuff, I'll do some narration, not just show the dogs. I'll do some narration of what I was gonna, if there's something that I left off today that I forgot about. As I was thinking of. So definitely I keep seeing this spiritual people just keep showing and showing and showing this. Come here, Archie. Come here, Archie. Come here. He looks like a little alien creature. He is such a little frog face. He's so cute. There was another little creature, too, that I thought he looked like the other day. He definitely looks like a little alien, and he's got these bug eyes, and he's always, like, communicating with his eyes. They're all communicating with their eyes all the time. But anyways, let me think if there was something else. Well, we'll just have to see. So anyways, when I go out later, I will refresh if there was something that I had left off, because whatever it is. But your body is always telling you. That's what I think of didn't finish saying, maybe was something with the back thing, because that is another place where I'm really trying to focus. And that is, I'm doing a lot with stretches. Like I've said, there's a lot with movement and stretches, like yoga is good. And there's a lot of ballet ones. But I think like if you were a sports person, you learned a lot of those ones and stuff. So there's a lot of different stretches that, and then holding them, and then using your mind too. So you got to use your mind to see it straighter and straighter and straighter. That is also where I've heard people say who have cured their CA and CR is, and they have TUM or tumor, and then they will keep picturing it getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And so use your visuals inside your mind to also control your, it's like controlling your reality, because your thing, but you can't cause something to heal that's not healed. Like you can't just make, like I could spend all my time trying to straighten something that if it's there to show me something. So you got to be open to what it's showing you. And that, I think, is what takes so long, is because there's so much to the process of really making the changes to yourself, because it is stuff that you have to face, different kinds of things, traumas and choices and things that we've done and people that we've been. And that's what it was. It was something about the people. Well, I don't know. It was something I think I said earlier this morning on TikTok or something. Anyways, I'm getting way too uncomfortable. So here comes Max. Let's see if I can get his little cute face on here. He's so sweet. He is such a sweetheart. He just wants to be loved. He just wants someone. Here he comes. Let's see if he gets his face. Here he goes. Look. He's trying to, he's like right here, standing up. And he always does this like old man. Oh, here he goes. There he is. He always does this old man. You can't see his face too good. Look down here. Look. Mr. Beady Eyes, scoot back. Ugh. He's such a sweetheart. They're all so sweet. So, anyways, just remember what we're doing here is learning how to love ourselves, because that is a hard one, and learn how to love everyone else. That is a really hard one, and learning how to have a good day. because it's up to you. And that is a challenge. So challenge yourself today and work on that, and it will. Here he comes. Let's see. He's very resistant. He's like, no, I'm not looking where you tell me. That's the only things that he does, is like, I try and tell him, come here. I try and tell him, see, he's got this sweater. I try and tell him stuff, like, get out of my chair or something. That's where he's like, no, I'm just going to sit here. So, let me see if I can get that. Okay. Usually, if I hold him, then Archie has got to be right up there. Like, these two are very competitive with each other over my attention. Hold on. Come here, Archibald. Let's get up here for a second. Show the folks your little cute face. Yeah, Snorty. Oh, yeah, he's looking at my hand. Okay, guys. So, just remember what you're doing here. Learning how to love yourself. To love everyone and have a loving day. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.